Alright, time for next map of Judgment, map 17. I keep calling it Judgment, but it is in fact Judgment. Retrial, they're different. Bit of what is this called? A cold open? Is that the right word for it? Or it's a hot start. Don't those mean the same thing? A cold open for a show is like boom, right in the action, right? And it's kind of what's happening here. It's called a hot start. Cold open, hot start. Same mean. Same mean. Same mean. Okay. I actually do like this hot start here. Non-damaging floor. I am opposed to using that floor texture when it is non-damaging. I think that looks very damaging, but I always appreciate when you can get them clumped up like this, but it's also non-trivial to do that. You know, you gotta get the rocket launcher, you gotta get rockets for it, otherwise you're stuck. Also these Doom 3 guys, which I am feeling a little more comfortable with. At this point in the WOD, I think of the fancy Judgment monsters as just another Doom enemy. Obviously, I'm never gonna be as comfortable fighting those as the Doom guys, but you know, whatever. Do make sure you have killed the, like, all of the enemies, because once you hop down here, you can't go back. This battle is a little bit harder than it looks, actually. Even though it's just Cacos and Pinkies, there are enemies behind those Pinkies that can land a couple hits, so it's just something to look out for. And of course, whenever you're using rockets on Cacos, this happens with Plasma too, it can be a little bit tricky just because of projectile speed. It's not too bad here, because they're not going to get blasted back that far, because, you know, the, what are they called? The Pinkies are stopping them. You know, infinite height and all that. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm going to be getting the Super Shotgun extremely late. Nice little tribute to Mr. Sobad here. I say as I fight any Revenant in any situation. Doesn't it take like 12 shotguns to kill a Mancubus? I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of variance, but... What do you think of the blue blood on the Spectres? I kind of like it. Also, blood looks a lot better in this map set, where it sort of pools on the ground. Of course, classic Doom doesn't do that. Vanilla Doom, I mean. Another Mancubus. So the general structure of this map is big preliminary area, which we're doing now, and then you can go for the Super Shotgun in any of the 3 keys in any order you like. And I think there's an invuln somewhere that you can spend on one of those rooms. But it has been a little while, so I'm not exactly sure how the invuln is divided. Little backpack secret. We love our early backpacks. So this is our main area. And I go for this one first, because I want the BFG. And also, it can be pretty challenging. So I want to get this one done with. I don't love the monster window dressing here. I think this fight could have been improved if those enemies in the... It's not window dressing. Maybe. You could argue it's window dressing. Because the revenants are hard to beat window dressing, because they are still aggressive. But you know what I mean. The guys up there in the little cages. I kind of wish they respawned infinitely, whether from an archvile or just lots and lots of enemies in a monster closet lined up to fill their place that get crushed when the fight is done. Whatever the case, I don't like that I end up doing this, where I'm just slowly picking them off. I think if they were a constant presence in the fight, that would have been a little more interesting than doing this. But anyway, we get our BFG, which functions just like our classic BFG, even though it has that ugly Doom 64 look. Look, I like Doom 64, I don't like the BFG in that. This is an interesting encounter. Honestly, it's similar to a lot of encounters I've seen. You know, you're maneuvering between Hell Knights and you have a pressure unit on the outskirts of a fairly long room with small instances of cover. But one advantage that this WOD has is having different monsters. And instead of Revenants, you have these Black Barons. Or maybe Green Barons. I still don't know what to call them. I kind of want to call them Black Barons because the dominant color is clearly black. But also, it feels weird to identify something as black because is black even a color? But also, it feels weird to call them green because the Hell Knights, I associate them with green. But also, the Hell Knights are white. And they're not green at all. Just their fireballs are green. So, I don't know. I'm not calling it a Diabolus or whatever. You know, if you were around from my earliest streams, when I was playing Doom Eternal a lot, you would know that I had trouble remembering what the Kako Demon was called back then. And I always called it the Kako Demon. I just thought that's how it was said. So, you know, I don't always remember the right phrases here. But anyway, we've acquired our first key, the red key. And I've strategically gone for this one first because, hey, I want the BFG. Which is, by the way, one of the reasons that Raven Like a Desk map was really good, and you should watch that video. Because you get the BFG by getting all three keys. Here's another secret to telefrag this guy. He's near, I believe it's a yellow key. Maybe blue. I think yellow. And he's also near the super shotgun. But the super shotgun fight, it's not that challenging. And who cares about the super shotgun? Like, for real. You've got enough BFG. By you, I mean me. But also you if you're playing this map and following the video for whatever reason. Which nobody is. But hypothetically. That's another secret switch there. Which opens up, I don't know, something. As much as I do like this map and the overall layout, I do think having the BFG tied to one of the keys instead of some other thing kind of means you do that fight first because you want the BFG, right? Whereas the super shotgun, you can just get that done whenever. So I just did it last because, like, who cares? I don't need the super shotgun. I need the BFG. I have enough BFG ammo. I think it was handled pretty well. Not perfectly. In that Raven Like a Desk map. Map 2 of Sleepwalking. Because you get the BFG by getting one of each color key. Whereas you still want to do all the color key fights to beat the map. But getting the BFG doesn't dictate the order that you're doing those color key fights. I'm going to look like a fool when I jump into like the yellow key fight in this level and I see a BFG. I'm like, oh wow, I guess I'm stupid and you get a BFG in all of them. But I'm pretty sure you don't get a BFG in all of them. I remember not having a BFG against a bunch of pain elementals and revenant bats. Those are guys with the homing rockets that are bats. That's what I'm calling it. The other issue I have with this level is too many instances like this where I'm just slowly picking off enemies. It's just not the best. I think the arena fights are really good. I think the and of course the arena fight we already did with the Black Barons. Maybe I'll go with Black Baron instead of Green Baron because it alliterates and it's not confusing. But Green Baron could be confusing. And this fight, I really like this fight. Let's see if we can activate it without triggering it. I guess I wasn't able to activate the fight without taking the Mega Sphere. So I'll come back later when I need the Mega. But I really like that fight. And this fight is good too. You have enclosed spaces with interesting enemy configurations and interesting cover. Really good arena fights, really good visuals. There are just some macro things that, I don't know. Having the BFG just in the red key fight, obviously you gotta do that first. But I don't know. You know, is that even a problem? Not really. It just makes the level a little more linear. It's not the biggest problem in the world, you know? Notice how I'm not getting too close here, because I don't want to trigger the pain elementals and the revenant bats, which is a really good combination. The revenant bats, they're going after you with damage, and the pain elementals are covering your space. And in such a closed environment like this, it's interesting, right? When you're in a closed environment with a pain elemental, it feels like rockets are bad, but it also means it can be hard for the pain elementals to move with all the Lost Souls blocking it as well. So if you can get a nice hallway, sometimes rockets work really well against pains. And of course we got the Revenant Bats on the other side. When I did my blind run, I actually did do this without BFG, because there isn't a BFG in this room, like I keep talking about. I was pretty impressed with myself beating it on the first try there. Especially here, where, frankly, I almost died, even with the BFG. Wait. Really, all of the custom monsters just work really well. Just snag a little bit of ammo before doing this. Really simple fight here. 3 archviles with decent amount of cover. Oh, but wait, there's more. Revenants. In both directions? At the risk of being big dum-dum, I kind of wish there were fewer revenants and they locked you in. Maybe they were only on the windows. Maybe you put Hell Knights in the center area as well. I don't know. But having so many revenants and opening up the door, well, why wouldn't you just run away like this? I like that first part with the Archviles. It's a quick fight, a lot of pressure. I like that. By the way, that white door, arguably silver, is an any key door, and it opens up the BFG. Sorry, the SSG. And perhaps that could have been where the BFG is. I think that would have been pretty cool. Though maybe I just liked that Raven map, and now I'm thinking, every map should be like that. Which it shouldn't. It should not. I really like that map, yes. But A, creative freedom, and B, in a more greedy sense, it's good that maps have variety. Alright, so we got this big imp battle. I think it's 2 Archviles will show up on that central part. I vaguely remember him respawning. I could be wrong. Maybe I am. Huh. I feel like I really recognize this type of fight. Archvile in the center, imps, and a couple Hell Knights. Isn't this kind of like the Spinsies fight in Sunlust 29? Such an iconic... Isn't that amazing? Like, I played Sunlust like 3 years ago now. And I remember that. Like, I can see the room in my head. I don't remember every map in Sunlust. I think if you showed me the first room, I could describe like every SP2 map with a little bit of hinting, you know. With Sunlust, I don't remember all of it, but I remember that fight 100%. I could tell you what direction the spinny thing goes too. It's just an iconic moment. Really good battle. Oh, just a note. I like the dark castles, you know, with the gray and the marble, silver, and the I want to call it a light black. It's what the walls are made of. I don't know what John Romero and co were thinking when they had that stupid green castle texture. Again, we all love John Romero here, yada yada, but what is going on with that green texture in Vanilla Doom? Why are the castle walls green? It looks so ugly. I might rate that as the worst vanilla Doom texture. Ooh, invuln time. So the invuln isn't a secret. You can just get it and use it on any of the particular battles. I chose to use it on this final fight here, and I think for good reason. Look what's going on here. Making good use of... I guess it's not rocket punching unless you're actually touching the enemy, because it has to do with how deep the rocket goes. But whatever. You know, I'm rocket punching. And that does a few things. 1, does a lot of damage. 2, keeps me safe because invuln. 3, I get to use rockets when I really wouldn't be able to use rockets here all that effectively otherwise, which means I get to save BFG ammo. So, I think I chose wisely with my invuln. Maybe you could use invuln on a different fight. I think the one with the Revenant bats is the best contender, but you'd probably want to clear out most of the area and then grab the invuln so you're not wasting time. Though I stand by this usage on the grounds that this was the easiest to get to from the invuln's position. So I get the most time out of it. Alright, so let's just close up. We have done the final fight, and like I said, the very last thing we're doing is taking the super shotgun. A weapon which, frankly, I didn't really need here. Oh, can I just say, these are really nice indicators around the button. Those little lever things. I like this encounter too. You have cacos and the baby cacos. Limited visibility, so you have to keep your rhythm going. You can't just read the enemies. And you're on this weird, like, half circle bit of cover. It's not that hard of a fight by any means. But I do like how it's set up. The reason it's not that hard is it's designed for the stage in the level where you're just about to get the super shotgun, right? Which means you don't have that much equipment yet. Whereas for me, I already have rockets and BFG and all that. So I think I would have liked if this fight earned you the BFG, so you could use it in the color key fights. Because this fight is a little bit easier than the others, so it makes sense to be building your arsenal with it. But as is, since it's easier, you just do it last to save, fail faster and all that. I really like those enemies. The brow. What? That's a cat sound. What sound do these guys make? More of like a brow. Yeah, close enough. Because Mancubus is really fat, and that means it's hard to use them all that often. Where these guys are a little bit skinnier, so you can put them in more situations, and they'll move around okay. It's kind of the Arachnotron problem too. Arachnotrons are an enemy that honestly, I think they'd be used a lot more if they were just a little bit smaller. Like, that's the real reason Revenants and Hell Knights are so popular. Hell Knights don't do anything interesting. They don't have that much health. They don't have an interesting projectile. They just fit, right? They're small enough you can put a lot of them. But Arachnotrons aren't. And that's not necessarily an issue, but it is a thing you are choosing to do as a mapper if you use an Arachnotron. Think about, well, that last map I played in Sleepwalking. There are only, 20, let's say 2 fights, so I'm not counting it. There are 2 fights with Arachnotrons in the whole level. And of them, they are individually blocking space, and each Arachno you kill gives a ton of space. Whereas Hell Knights do differently. I wasn't going to test it. I don't know if you shoot the little Slayer there, if, the Voodoo Doll hurts you. So I did like a lot of the encounters for that map. I do think there were parts of it that set it up to be a little bit more linear than maybe I would have liked. But again, these are, you know, you need to be in like a very high echelon of maps for me to be making these criticisms, right? We have to remember we're talking about like top 1% maps here. I'm not playing every Doom map in the world. I'm playing a lot of the good ones. And of those, you know, I haven't even finished a lot of the WODs I've been playing lately. Like, I never finished No SB3. I never finished well, I didn't play this one at all. I didn't finish Junk Food. I got about 30 levels in, 40. I didn't finish it. So even of those, I'm not playing every map. So we're talking about some of the best levels ever, right? And within those, oh, I have a couple complaints in an otherwise really good level, right? So these are all really good. I don't want to dissuade you from playing this. You should be playing Judgment Retrial. You should be playing Judgment Retrial. You should be playing Spectrum. These are all really, really good. Okay. I think that was like some quote, right? If art is really good, then it's easier to criticize because there's a little more bite on it. You see the potential and all that. But if you can't complain so much about like Among Us memes because what are you even talking about? Okay, I'm done. Bye.